Right then, time for Combat Patrol 31 here. Now, I have to admit, as much as I really like characters and they're very inspiring things, I do have an issue personally starting the Chaos Space Marines with a character. Now, you might wonder why that is. Like, why wouldn't I want a character as the first thing that they give us? I have painted Chaos Space Marines since I was a kid, and I will tell you right now, in my entire life, I have never seemed to get them right. Like, you know, my painting skills vary quite drastically. Sometimes I'll look at something and think, wow, that's I've really done a good job there. And other times I'll look at it and go, oh my goodness, what a complete pile of rubbish I've just done. Trying to start Chaos Space Marines with this is actually not an easy it's not an easy ask. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I love Chaos Space Marines, but this is a difficult model to start the Chaos Space Marines with. Anyway, I'm going to get around to the actual model in a bit, and I'm going to have a quick, risk look through the actual issue itself. So, as you might guess, we got our lovely how to build. We have our Dark Disciples, which are a type of cultist. And of course, most importantly, is how to build the Dark Apostle itself. Now, a Dark Apostle is described as a Space Marine priest. In particular, they kind of would have been chaplains during the Horus Heresy and very quickly took up the mantle of a Dark Apostle. Basically, they're the opposite of a Space Marine priest. There is no other way to put it. Priest, chaplain. Whereas a chaplain's there to identify potential heresy within the Space Marines. A Dark Apostle is there to encourage it. Now, the painting is going on Black Legion. Black Legion are, do you know what? They're an easy paint. You just paint the armour black and then you give them silver trims. It makes your life so much easier doing the Black Legion. However, I'm not going to do the Black Legion. I have decided to create the Crimson Heralds, who are going to be a Word Bearer successor chapter. So, painting them, as you can see, there's a bit of variety. So we've got like sort of a lot of the colours that we've got, so far are in use here. A wide range of kind of golds to pick out the trims of the armour. Some bits are in silver. Really pushing like red on the candles and leather-bound book. You can see they're a very ornate model, and this is why I'm kind of like, actually, would it have been better if they started off with just the regular Chaos Space Marines so that everyone actually has the opportunity to learn how to paint a Space Marine before you get into this thing? You will find that this thing is going to be harder to paint than some of the big monsters that they have, because the big monsters, although there's a lot of work, you've got wide spaces to cut, to clean up, to apply onto, whereas this has got lots of tight little places. The Dark Disciples are very covered in robes, and although that does make them slightly easier to paint, you do have the problem of, chains and, like kind of the lectern on this guy's back and candles and leatherwork. So there is actually quite a bit of difficulty just on these as well. Now, there's lots to do on painting these because we've already got shades. So there's lots of shading to do, relayering and so on and so forth to get these right. Okay, bit of information about your Dark Apostle and Dark Disciples. And entering into Chaos Space Marines and coming up with like character names. As you can see, what we've got here is we've got our Dark Disciple. I'm going to assume that Hellbrute's not to scale because I'm pretty certain it isn't that small, but I haven't actually had a Hellbrute in my collection for a very long time, so I'm pretty certain he isn't that small anyway. I just think that's been scaled down for the photo. The actual use of the Dark Apostle in a scenario, which is interesting. Now, oh right, I've just noticed on this page as well, you can actually name according to your whether or not you're Undivided, Khorne, Sneech, Nurgle or Slaanesh. Because I'm doing a word bearer splinter group, the aim of them is predominantly Undivided, but they're allowed basically Space Marines from any discipline, which is what you want sometimes with a big Chaos Horde. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting stuff to do in this one, you know, as well as fighting a few scenarios. I'm just having a look here. So you use your Dark Apostle. I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, so on a roll of a war, right, yeah, so you could be fighting against Space Marines or Eldari or Tyranids, depending on what you roll. I like that. I like the idea of a bit of variety to the battles, and you could play all the scenarios, couldn't you, just to give yourself a bit of fun, basically. Okay, right, this is the model then. So as I said, it's a very cool model, there's no doubt about it, but you just have to kind of have a good look at this miniature, and you should be able to start to see just how complex this thing is going to be. In some cases, particularly with things like this lectern here, you may want to actually keep that separate when you paint it, just purely because it's going on the cloak, and it's going to be very hard to get around to the back of it while you're painting away. Even things like you might want to keep the backpack off, just so you can paint that separately, again, to help you get between the different layers easier. So sometimes painting in segments makes your life so much easier. It does exactly the job that you want it to, of being a priest, and that in a sense that, you know, he's dominantly holding up a book, you know, really kind of lifting it up and waving it around, you know, properly. The book is on fire, because why not? He's got fire coming out of the candles and the braziers on his backpack. He's got his kind of lovely scrolls. Basically, this guy's going to look completely the part, done up as a word bearer splinter faction, the Crimson Heralds. That's going to work really well. It's another way to put it. So basically, it's a really lovely model with some lovely details. I just feel like maybe as your first attempt at painting Chaos Space Marines, you'll want to kind of put this to one side, so that you can actually practice on the Chaos Space Marines in a couple of issues time to get this right. That's my personal belief. I think if you're never painting Chaos Space Marines before, you're going to put yourself into a difficult position starting with this. My advice is practice on the main Chaos Space Marines and work from there. And I might even do that myself. I might kind of not paint this straight away, and I might kind of go and paint the troopers first to show you how the Crimson Heralds are going to look. Then I can go back to this one in a future issue. Anyway, there we go. So that is issue number 31. It's got some cool things. It's got a cool character model for our Chaos Space Marines. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next video.